Hi, good evening. So Gary Cousins, BA Systems. I work in our Chelmsford office, just outside Chelmsford, in Great Baddow, for the applied intelligence part of the business, where I look after one of the research and development departments. I've been asked to talk a little bit about the industry perspective on social value, and in particular how it's moved over the years from a kind of nice to have to a kind of a mandate, more or less. To give you a little bit of perspective, most companies, large and small, have some form of outreach program. It takes a variety of forms. As the example there of kind of what BAE did in 2020, and for large companies, they do add up to quite a significant amount of investment. They've been running for many years in most cases, in various forms, and it's not an insignificant investment, quite often. So it kind of begs the question to start with, why do companies do these things? There's quite a few reasons, but they sort of boil down to a few basic things. The first one people think of quite often is publicity. So it's a good way of companies promoting themselves, and also garnering kind of public support for things. By seeing a company invest in local communities, etc., they tend to get favour with the population. Employee satisfaction is also another large driver for these, by providing employees with the ability to put back into the community or do something a little bit outside their normal job, provides a degree of satisfaction and variety, and generally keeps employees happy. And then you've also got the kind of general investment in the community as well. So if you can put money into the local environment, the local community, it tends to improve certainly the local workforce, sort of home happiness. And for a large company like BAE that's spread all over the country, you can improve it in a number of areas. And also local education improvement, in general. If you can improve the education skill set of people coming through, then it improves your future workforce. Most of these things drive, or all of these things drive your business performance and turnover. They help the local community, they help the local economy, but they also do help the business itself. And there's been plenty of studies into this showing the kind of impact of these things. But the testament to it is, as I said on the previous slide, most companies have been doing this for many years, and continue to do so. So that's all well and good, gives you a little bit of a background. In 2013, though, there was an interesting development with the government passing the Public Service Social Value Act. And this essentially meant that government departments have to consider the social impact that companies were having when placing contracts with individual companies. It was a good step. So it came in 2013. Biggest criticism, though, was it kind of mandated its consideration, but there's very little guidance on how that was measured or what impact it had to have. So it was amended in 2018 to provide assessment measures. So a standardised way of scoring what a company was doing and how it was investing this money. And then again, it was revised in 2020, looking at providing particular areas that should be focused on. So it's not kind of free rein. Some of those were in response to the impact that we were expecting on COVID. So, creating new businesses, jobs and skills, but supply chain resilience also came in, and in particularly economic inequality was added. So actually trying to target less economically well-off areas for those things. So it's been ongoing for a number of years now. It's certainly started to come through in some detail onto the larger tenders that we're seeing, particularly in defence business. And does it work, I suppose, is the question. So we are seeing this as an obligation now on the company to provide these things. and it is taken quite seriously. So a good example here is the Tempest program, which you can look up. It's quite public. So that's the next generation of fast jet for the UK. It's a large consortium of companies, big defence companies, and almost the first document that was produced under that contract was the social impact assessment. Quite a large amount of work went into that, say across the whole of the consortium, looking at a vast array of impacts the program would have: job creation, supply chain, SME involvement, education, training, apprenticeships, in quite a lot of detail, to actually show where that social value was being generated by this big program. And there's an excerpt there. The full document is available, readily available online. So we are seeing this now actually pulling through into these programs and driving quite a lot of thought within companies about how you go about maximising and coordinating the impact these things have. So summing that up, there is a willingness to invest by industry in social value schemes. There is now legislation that enforces its consideration and measurement. But the biggest issue at the moment is it's down to the individual industries to kind of decide what they do. While we have some areas to target, what schemes are put in place and how they're executed is very much down to the individual industries. So there's a huge opportunity here for local governments, local councils and local societies to influence where that effort is concentrated. And I think that is where we're going to see the next big change in that scheme, is trying to standardise some of those things or pull them together and coordinate a number of them across the different businesses. Thank you for your time.